Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Man, I'm going to go off in this particular show here, so make sure you stick around for the video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel now. As y'all know, I'm supporting the Clippers, and I had the Clippers as one of the teams to go to the Western Conference Finals to face the Golden State Warriors. And even though the Golden State Warriors are not playing very well at the beginning of the season, number one, the Golden State Warriors have a proven track record of winning. They have a proven track record of being serious. So it makes sense to give that team the benefit of the doubt. On the other hand, the Clippers have none of that, and therefore they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Let me just unpack some of the feelings I've been having about this team. Coming into this season, the Clippers were picked by many to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Last season, the Clippers played fantastic defense, and they overcompensated for the absence in their two best players in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and they were actually playing team, and they finished in the Western Conference last season as an 8 seed. So one would think that coming into this season, they would try to build off of that. There would be a carryover of those good habits in terms of playing defense, camaraderie, seriousness, mental focus, but it's been the total opposite. And I'm noticing the same disturbing behavioral patterns from the Clippers that always holds them back, at least with this particular ball club. I was watching the game yesterday. After a certain point, I just turned it off. I said, these guys are just here wasting my time, right? Totally wasting my time. And at the end of the game, I decided to listen to some of the comments that Paul George, the best player on the court last night for the team, and John Wall. So what we want to do is we want to play some of the things that Paul George and John Wall had to say here, and then we're going to come back and unpack this thing. So take a listen to what Paul George and John Wall had to say here.
We just had a good night, but for us, I mean, we're allowing it. You know, we're giving teams the freedom to play their way. We're giving teams the looks they want. You know, it's not much that we're doing, or an identity, I would say, that we haven't found yet for who we're going to be. And that's the problem.
Todd took quite a while to come out and talk to us post-game. What's, I guess, the message that he's delivering to you guys?
I mean, it was no message needs to be said. I mean, we got to do a better job. You know, point blank in period, we got to do a better job. You know, we're failing. You know, on both ends, we got to do a better job.
Pete, what's the biggest difference between when y'all practice and when y'all gotten to play amongst each other and what y'all have been seeing in games?
I mean, I think they're just going a little harder. I think the games are a little harder than what we're practicing against each other. You know, we again got to do a better job of taking away teams' first options, second options. It's just too easy. It's too easy. The games are too easy for the other team, and we got to address that.
You said the game's too easy for the teams that you're playing. Do you think that's an effort issue, an execution issue? A little of both? How do you see it?
I think we just got to raise the intensity. I think from an intense level, again, it comes down to identity, you know, who we're going to be. And with that, we got to raise the intensity on both sides. It starts with me. You know, I was poor tonight, been poor past couple games. I'll get it together. I'm committed to my work. I'm committed to this team succeeding. It starts with me. I got to get better. I got to do better. But then past that, I mean, we got to collectively be a better team and again, have an identity when we're on that court.
You say raise the intensity. What does that entail? Is that like a mindset going into the game, or just like on a possession-by-possession basis?
It starts with the mindset. It starts with the start of the game. And then it starts possession by possession. Appreciate it.
Hey, John, can you talk about, as far as your coming back ability, as far as you're on a minute restriction, but what percentage of your performance and level of peak performance would you measure, say yourself, would be, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know. Great question. For me, I feel great. I feel amazing right now. I'm just going with the plan that they have for me. But, yeah, I would love to play more minutes. But I know it's a bigger picture through that. But it gets frustrating at times, you know what I mean? Because I'm a competitive person. I like to go out there and compete. it's tough at times, but for me, I feel like I'm playing great. You know what I mean? I could be, it's like 24 minutes, you can't really do too much. You know what I mean? I think for per 36, I'm probably, 26 points, 25 points, something like that. But I don't play the game looking for stats. I just play the game to be myself, be John Wall, go out there, play with speed, bring energy to the team, and just have fun.
I remember in the preseason you mentioned that it's just your personality to be the guy who speaks up and is outspoken. And I'm curious, like like Law said, you're a new guy to the locker room in a lot of ways though too, and you're respectful of kind of the hierarchy. Like, how do you pick and choose when to speak up in a moment like this, or when to call out? Things need to be corrected.
I did it today after the game. I think that's just me. That's just my nature, just being myself. Whenever room I walk in, I feel comfortable. I don't have to be nobody else or try to fit in. And I just think we all have a lot of vets on this team. I mean, we all been in the league for over 10 plus years. Most of the guys, we have a couple young guys, but everybody likes to put the work in. But just had to explain certain things that we need to have a sense of urgency. Like, we have to tuck our pride. Like, most of us have kids at home. Like, if I say something to you as a teammate, you should be able to accept it. If I'm right, we move on. And I should be able to tell you when you're wrong. You should be able to tell me when I'm wrong. I don't want to have to go back and forth like I do with my kids, like they 2 and 3. So I think, just understand that, no matter if it's Kawhi, PG, or me, or Marcus, or Red, we got to be able to get on each other, not in a bad way, in a negative way, but in a way to make our team better. And I think once we do that and start taking on that challenge of being able to accept whatever your teammate tell you to do and figure out what your main role is. I think all of us got to figure out what our role is that fits best with this team to make us be great. I think we all trying to figure out what it is, and it's pressure. No, just have fun, enjoy it, and be free-flowing. But for me, I don't mind speaking up. When the time is right, I say what I got to say.
So you heard what they had to say. 2 things I want to address. And John Wall spoke about most of those things. Number 1, mindset. Listen, the Clippers are sipping their own Kool-Aid. It is exactly what they did in the 2020 season. Everyone started heaping praise and whoa, they think this team can be great. And the Clippers read their own press clippings. And they think that, all we have to do is show up to the arena, and then all of a sudden teams are going to lay down and we're just going to go out there and we're going to win games. They're believing their own hype. That's the number 1 problem I'm noticing with this team. They are way better than their record is, but unfortunately, they are not putting forward the effort. That's the first thing. Here's the second point I want to address, which goes to Kawhi Leonard and the comments that John Wall made in terms of minutes restriction and all of these things. Listen, I posted this on Twitter yesterday. This Clippers medical staff, I'm not going to put it on the players. I don't think it's the players, to be quite honest with you. I've heard on too many occasions that the players themselves actually want to play. Kawhi Leonard actually wants to play. John Wall actually wants to play. But the Clippers medical staff is putting them on minutes restrictions, telling them they can't play back-to-backs and all of these different things because they're trying to preserve this team to the finish line. Here's what the Clippers are doing. The Clippers are a team they're like parents to small kids. When you have a small kid and the kid is learning to walk, if every time you walk up to that kid and you try to hold his hand to walk and you don't allow him to fall, it'll take forever for that kid to walk. But if you understand that the kid, as he's learning to stand up and walk, he's going to fall down, but he'll stand up again, and eventually his legs will get strong enough, and before you know it, he or she will start walking. The Clippers are being, in my personal opinion, overly protective of the team, and it's hurting the product on the court. Number 1, they're one of the lowest teams in the NBA in terms of scoring. I think they're number 28 or 29. Think about that. A team of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris Sr., all of these guys. And they're struggling to score. Why? Because they don't have any continuity. Number 1. Number 2, they don't even have their rotations. How can you have your rotations when every other day you're pulling guys in and out of the lineup? That's the first thing. To me, listen, the Clippers, I said they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals. It's still very early, so I'm not going to come off of that pick, but I'm not seeing that seriousness from them. I'm not. Just a bunch of talk and this and this and this. I don't see it. I don't see it from them. I don't really understand the strat. You're trying to preserve. If you're trying to make sure Kawhi Leonard is absolutely healthy before he gets into the playoffs, the best way to do it is don't play him until the playoffs. Problem solved. I guarantee you he cannot get injured at home. Just don't play him until the playoffs begin. Why even bring him back? And finally, aren't these guys getting paid for these games? Why aren't they not playing? Why aren't they being paid? Like, why aren't they playing? You're protecting them, but come on, like so to me, I am thoroughly disappointed in the Clippers. They don't look serious. They're losing games they shouldn't be losing. They themselves have admitted as much. Ty Lue, the head coach, has admitted as much. And I wouldn't recommend anybody take the Clippers seriously until they show you that they're serious. And now I don't take them seriously until they show it, because they don't seem to be serious to me.